1. Childhood and youth. The early steps of a leader, 1918 to 1941. The birth of a legend. Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela was born on July 18, 1918 in Viso, a small village in the Transkei region of South Africa. His family belonged to the Xhosa tribe, one of the country's main ethnic groups. His father, Gadla Henry Mfakani-Iswa, was the chief advisor to the king of the Thembu, but he was deposed for defying the authority of the British colonial government. From an early age, Mandela was exposed to values of leadership and justice. His Xhosa name, Rolihlahla, means pulling the branch of a tree, an expression in their culture used to describe a troublemaker or rebel. Little did he know that this meaning would mark his entire life. Education and the seed of resistance. Mandela was the first member of his family to receive formal education. He attended the Methodist missionary school in Kunu, where a British teacher gave him the name Nelson, a common practice for African children to fit into the colonial system. His academic talent allowed him to enter Fort Hare University, one of the few institutions offering higher education to Black South Africans. However, he was expelled in 1940 for participating in student protests against the discriminatory rules imposed by the white leadership of the university. To avoid an arranged marriage that his family wanted for him, Mandela fled to Johannesburg in 1941. There, he worked in various jobs, including at a law firm, where he discovered his passion for law and justice. In this city, he met people who were fighting against racial discrimination, and they introduced him to the African National Congress, ANC, the resistance movement that would shape his life. 2. Apartheid. A system of oppression, 1948 to 1960. The birth of a racist system. In 1948, the National Party, led by the Afrikaners, descendants of Dutch colonists, officially implemented apartheid, a system of racial segregation that completely marginalized non-whites. Under this system, whites dominated the government, the economy, and the country's resources. Blacks, coloreds, and Indians were forced to live in segregated areas and carry special passes to move around the country. Interracial marriages were banned, and blacks were denied quality education, well-paid jobs, and political rights. Mandela's entry into political struggle. In 1944, Mandela joined the African National Congress, ANC, and co-founded the ANC Youth League. His goal was to transform the movement into a more radical organization that would directly challenge apartheid. In the 1950s, Mandela led various peaceful protests, strikes, and boycotts. One of the most significant events was the Defiance Campaign of 1952, in which thousands of people disobeyed unjust laws and were arrested. However, the white government responded with brutality. In 1960, during a peaceful protest in Sharpeville, the police killed 69 people, most of them shot in the back, while fleeing. This event was a turning point for Mandela, who realized that peaceful resistance was not enough. 3. From prison to global symbol, 1961 to 1990. Armed struggle and Mandela's capture. In 1961, Mandela co-founded the military group Umkhonto we Sizwe, Spear of the Nation, which carried out attacks on government infrastructure to pressure the regime. In 1962, he was captured and sentenced to life imprisonment for sabotage and conspiracy against the state in the famous Rivonia trial, 1964. He was sent to Robben Island, where he spent 27 years. Despite being behind bars, Mandela became an international symbol of the fight against apartheid. Governments, organizations, and celebrities called for his release. 4. Impact on the United States and international support. The relationship with the U.S., from enemy to hero. During the Cold War, the U.S. considered the ANC a communist and terrorist organization. However, in the 1980s, the anti-apartheid movement in the U.S. grew. Universities and activists demanded economic sanctions against South Africa. In 1986, the U.S. Congress passed the Comprehensive Anti-Apartheid Act, imposing sanctions on the South African government. When Mandela was released in 1990, he received a triumphant welcome in the U.S. He was received by George Bush Sr., and in 1994, Bill Clinton strengthened ties with the new South Africa. 5. President and Global Legacy, 1994 to 2013. In 1994, Mandela became the first Black president of South Africa, marking the official end of apartheid. Promoting national reconciliation, he worked with both whites and blacks to avoid a civil war and build a united South Africa. In 1999, he retired from politics but continued fighting against poverty, racism, and HIV/AIDS until his death on December 5, 2013. 6. His impact endures. Mandela remains a global symbol of the struggle for justice and equality. His legacy continues to inspire individuals and movements worldwide to fight for human rights and freedom.